Hello and welcome to the Hetero Guy blog and the Hetero Guy channel at YouTube if you are there or on the blog, I don't know. So it's a pleasure to be here again, and today I'm going to be talking about this beautiful specimen that I have just behind me here. So this is a Macintosh 5400 series, so it's a Performa Macintosh. I bought it not long ago, I think about maybe 2 weeks ago or so, and it was in a fairly good shape already, a little bit dirty, so I just had to open it up and clean everything up, but it was in working condition, so I didn't have to actually fix anything here other than some plastics that were a little bit brittle and breaking here and there. So I had to, glue some stuff to the right place again, but very small bits of plastic, so nothing serious. Again, like I was very lucky to get this in a very nice condition at a very fair price as well. I think I paid for it at around like 40 pounds. So 40 pounds for a working Macintosh like this one here, I think it's a really good price. Like it's not easy to find those models, those Performas or Power PCs. They are available at eBay and other channels. It's just that the condition normally is not that great. Normally they are broken up, like the plastic. It's basically like broken in the corners, or even like on the monitor grill, for example. And also the condition of the plastics themselves, they are not really great most of the time. They are really yellowed and deteriorated, and most of the time it's really difficult to recuperate or to refurbish machining in that condition. Like retrobrite, something that people like to do. I don't, because I think that the retrobriting process actually makes the plastic even more fragile. If it is brittle already, after the retrobrite, it gets drier and even more brittle, so it tends to break easier after the process. So I really avoid doing it for all the machines that I have. If they are a little bit yellow, that's it, that's actually part of the business, I think. It's just that it is an old machine, so being yellow, I think, is just part of it. And if you're lucky enough, like me here, to have some machines that are not that yellow, well, consider yourself lucky and just go with that. If you get a machine that is in working condition, in good shape, in terms of not being broken outside, scratched or anything like that, it's just yellow, just leave it, avoid retrobiting it, because again, chances are it will get eventually worse. It might be like whiter, but the plastic condition is going to be worse. That's the experience that I have with some retrobriting that I've done in the past. And also, if you look it up on the internet, you're going to find a lot of people just agreeing with what I said. So back to this here. So again, this is a Macintosh Performa series, and it's a 5400/160 Performa, so it's a Power PC, and it is working. It's running on the 160 gigahertz clock, so it's a fairly good machine. Like I remember, I had one of those at the time, like 1996, around that year, and I was so happy when I got it. It wasn't this one; it was 5200, so it was less powerful than this. And at the time, it was already amazing. So such a great machine, in terms of multimedia. It had a lot of options, like built-in CD-ROM, for example, and the speakers that you can see here as well, that actually delivered a fairly good quality of sound. And the built-in CRT monitor also helped with the whole experience. The quality is actually very good. It's very sharp. And yeah, it was a very great machine overall. So I'm very happy that I got this one. And I'm going to demonstrate a little bit of it to you guys. And so you get to see, how it is to have an old Macintosh like this one in fully working condition, in a very good shape as well. What else can I say about this? So there were a lot of variations on this particular set here. So for example, there were models that they have they came actually from Apple with a built-in video capture and a TV tuner as well, and a remote control. Actually, you can see here that there is the reception for the IR, you know, like it's here. So you just need a remote control, and of course the TV tuner board that goes inside, but which I don't have. So yeah, it is. There's some options, some upgrades that you can do in this machine here. It's very easy to upgrade to get the motherboard out of it. You don't have to, you know, disassemble the whole thing. It's just like go on the back, just unscrew like 3 screws, and the whole thing comes out. So it's very easy to replace the hard drive, very easy to replace even the floppy drive, and also like components on the motherboard, and also upgrading the motherboard using like external or third-party cards. Like for example, there are accelerators for it, there are video capture cards, Ethernet cards and such. So a lot of options there. This one came with modem, like there is an internal modem here, which is it was really good at the time, of course, having something like that. Not anymore. And well, that's pretty much it. So let me power it up. We can see it running, we can see it working, and I'm going to give you like a tour on the back as well, so you get to see how it goes, the ports that are available, and then that's pretty much it. Like that's all I wanted really to show you guys. Okay, so let's see. Power it up. This particular model here, it's fully operational on the keyboard. So just press the power button on the keyboard. Ooh, it is loud, so I might have to, you know, turn the volume down a little bit. But that's it. Like there is no power button or anything, which actually is interesting because a lot of people sell those models on the internet as non-working because they don't know how to power it up. So they actually just plug the power cable in, they turn the switch that is in the back on, and nothing happens, and they just think that, well, you know, unfortunately it's not working, which is not true at all. You just have to, you know, plug in a keyboard, press the power button, and it comes back online. So something for you guys, you know, to take into account whenever buying one of those computers out of the internet. Sometimes if the seller is saying that it's not working, it's most of the time just lack of knowledge in terms of how to power up this particular machine. So yes, as far as I remember, this is one of the only models that actually has this particularity. So it has a power switch on the back, but it doesn't actually do anything. It just energizes the whole thing, but it doesn't really power it up or anything like that. You really need to press the power button on the monitor, sorry, on the keyboard, to actually get something to get it rolling. And also there is no options for you to power it up using the set here. So there is really no button here. All the buttons that are here, for example, you have some brightness buttons here, you have the volume control here, and that's pretty much it. So there is no option for you to actually power it up without having a keyboard, which is also interesting because some people are selling those without the keyboard because they don't have it, and there is no way for them actually to try to power it up. Even if they wanted to, they can't because they don't have the proper keyboard to do that. Well, in terms of keyboard, any ADB, Apple ADB keyboard will fit this particular model, so it doesn't have to be a specific one. This one was the keyboard that actually was shipped along with the set. So this is the original keyboard that came with it, and so it's actually, in my opinion, this is the worst keyboard that Apple has ever made. So it's very poor, like it's like the membrane inside is horrible, and most of the time, you know, this, if it is broken, it's impossible to fix. Like I tried to fix several of those, and every time you open it up, the controller that stays here, actually here, it's so fragile that whenever you open it up, like the component starts to fall off, and even if you try to solder it back on, like chances are it's not going to work anyways. So it's a really, really poorly constructed keyboard. It's not also like nice, you know, to the touch. I don't like it, at least. Like Apple has much better keyboards than this one here. And anyways, like it was part of the set, and actually it was shipped with this one here. So this is basically the original desktop, because this is a fresh image that was just installed. Like I used the original Performa system CD to basically roll it back to its original condition. This one was actually in French and it had a French keyboard, so I had to basically replace the keycaps here to make it like UK compatible again. Like it's very hard, you know, to use the French keyboard. I don't like it. And also the operating system was in French as well, so I had to basically reformat the hard drive and reinstall the whole system using the original Performa CD. So it's perfect now, like again, fully operational. This particular one here, I'm not sure it's going to be viewable from the distance, but just checking here the configuration. So this guy has 16 megabytes of RAM, which was the original setting for this particular model, and the hard drive has 1.2 gigabyte of space, 1.3 gigabytes. So this was also the original one. So this is an IDE hard drive. As far as I remember, this is IDE. This is not SCSI for this particular model. Yes, it is IDE. Like this guy doesn't have a SCSI internal hard drive, but it does have a SCSI port for you to connect peripherals, SCSI peripherals, into this particular machine. Interestingly enough, like it had Adobe Photoshop Deluxe version built, shipped along with it, this particular model here. It had like some interesting software here, like ClarisWorks, for example, was also part of it, and Eric's Solitaire Sample. This was the only game that was shipped along with that. There were other models. I think the first ones, the 5200 for sure, they had a PowerPit game that was, I think, one of the first games designed for the PowerPC model, for the PowerPC chip. And this particular one, at least on the CD that I used to reinstall it, it didn't come with it. So it's not really a shame because the game wasn't that good anyways. But yeah, this is basically what you have, right? This is basically what you get when you have this particular one out of the box. This is exactly how it comes. So you have to install everything else on your own, like any games or software or anything like that. And again, like it's not really a big deal. So let me show you, demonstrate this with the again, I'm going to use the Encarta CD-ROM that I have here, just because like it's I was using this before with the other video that I made, and I'm just going to use this again here, so just you can see it. So again, it's very practical to have the CD-ROM built into this to this set, so you don't have to actually have any peripherals or anything. This actually works out of the box beautifully. So let me see if I can enhance the brightness here a little bit. I think it's already on the maximum, which I think it's already like it's good for you guys, I think. Let me just turn down the volume a little bit because it is fairly loud. So actually, let me see the settings here, because it seems that the sound is loud on the turn on of the computer, but not for other things. So let's see how sound is actually set here. So yeah, it looks like it's not that bad actually. So yeah, let me just turn it down a little bit. And for the alerts, the alert setting is actually very high. That might be it. So this is, you remember those, right? Yeah, that's very nice. And just like some settings that are possible with this guy here. So it supports like resolution up to 800 plus 800 versus 600 resolution, which was very good for the time. Of course, no longer good, but this particular one is set to 640 to 480. So let's actually see if we can get it a little bit better. So this is like a higher resolution setting. So you get more real estate in terms of a space here, which again, it was amazing for the time. But you lose a lot of color options here. So having a higher resolution basically decreases the amount of colors that the system is able to display because of the internal graphics card, the built-in graphics chip. It's not even a card. So you could have this enhanced by adding an external graphics card if you wanted to. Like this one here doesn't support it. So I'm just going to send it back to its original resolution because I think the filtering actually is much better like this, right? Okay, so let's go back to the Encarta. And so Encarta here, I'm just going to, let me just double check if I haven't installed this because I think I have. Maybe I deleted it. Yeah, so I hadn't deleted it. So I'm not going to really install it. Well, what the hell. It's going to ask me to, you know, like restart the computer afterwards. So yeah, I'm not going to do it. It's just so you know, the Encarta set, like the CD set, it's 2 CDs and it's very annoying because you install it and you have to basically keep swapping CDs and the video quality. It was actually going to be nice to show you because it's actually quite depressing. You know, like let me just see how long is it going to take to install this. Maybe I can show you around while it's installing. And but I wanted really to show you like the quality of the videos or the multimedia options that you have on the Encarta 97 edition. It was, I remember the first time I saw it, it was amazing. Like at that time you didn't have any multimedia actually. Like it was really, really rare for you to see like a video or something like that coming out of a computer. Even PCs at the time, like they had very poor multimedia options. Like Sound Blaster changed everything afterwards, but yeah, it wasn't decent enough. So yeah, it's asking me to restart. So yeah, it's I will try to actually like you know, like use this without restarting anything, so we don't waste a lot of time here, and you guys get to see at least what I'm talking about in terms of the quality of the videos and everything. So let's start the Encarta Encyclopedia app. Didn't call it app at the time, so the application, right? And so then I will see if I can pick like a small video. Maybe like I will bring the camera a little bit closer, so you guys get actually to experience the amazing world of multimedia that we had back in the 90s. So yeah, it was good times, I have to say. Like again, as I remember it was amazing, really, to have something like this. Actually, I have something here that I wanted to show you as well, part of this video that might. So this is the multimedia experience. You see, like you had the sound and some animation. Again, very poor sort of stuff, but amazing for the time. So let's see here, like media features, right? Because that's what we want. And let's see, for example, the media gallery here. So as you can see, like the application itself is not that bad. It's actually very well designed. Well, it was made by Microsoft at the time. And so this is a video about a modern abacus user. So let's see how that goes. As you can see, the video cannot be, actually I think it might be able to expand it. So let's see if I can get it to fill out the whole screen here. Well, not the whole screen, but look at the quality of this. How sorry, you know, one can be by just looking at that now, you know. So let's play it. So look at this. This is horrible, isn't it? And doesn't even have sound. So yeah, it's it's really like a shame to look at this now, but it was amazing at the time. You know, you look at something like that and say, wow, I can actually see, you know, a movie or some animation or sound all together coming from my computer. So it was really amazing times. It was very easy, you know, to get impressed. Not now, not like today, for example. Well, but again, times has changed, of course. So let me show you something that I have here before we wrap it up, and I show you like the surroundings. Just give me one sec. So I wanted to show you this here. So now look at this. So let me see if I can get the glare off. So this was the internet yellow pages. Yes, all the websites on the internet could fit in a book like this size. And this was back in 1995. So almost the same era of this computer behind me here, right? So great times where if you wanted, for example, to see something about, let's say, like magazines, for example, you have here a whole section of all the websites available at the time that talked about this particular subject. So yeah, it was amazing. Like not only websites, but also like FTP servers and like Gopher and news lists and such. So yeah, it was really, really amazing. So this is really a piece of history. Like imagine the size of this, right? Nowadays, well, that's why we have Google, isn't it? So yeah, great times. So let me show you the surroundings here, and then we basically wrap it up for this particular video. Okay, so bear with me here. I'm going to show you like what we have for this particular guy here. And by the way, there is a built-in mic here as well. Not sure if you're able to see, but there is a small crack here where there is actually an internal microphone. So you could basically don't need anything really like in terms of multimedia to operate this guy here. It had like a built-in microphone, it had like the speakers, the stereo speakers, it had like the CD-ROM here, and that's pretty much it. That's all you wanted at that time in terms of multimedia. Like you really didn't need anything else. So just bear with me, we're going to see the back end side of this guy here. Okay, so this is the back of this particular Performa. So as you can see here, let me see if I can focus this. So those are the labels, right? And so here, in this side, you have that power button that I mentioned, you see? So this is not really a power button, it's more like a power switch, if you will. So when you connect the power cable here and you turn this on, like it is right now, right? So now it's off. It doesn't do anything, like it doesn't power it up or anything like that. So you really need to connect a keyboard of some sort here, like an Apple compatible keyboard in this particular port, so that you can press the power button and then actually power the thing up. So just talking about the ports that you have in this particular model. So those are the screws that I mentioned, right? So this is this in the back here, this whole thing here, right? So focus again. Yep. So this whole part here, it's this plastic actually comes out, right? This cover, and then you have basically like down here you have the hard drive and the floppy drive, and then up here you have the motherboard, which you can just pull it out like a drawer, you know, and it's really, really convenient, very easy for you to interact, to remove, to replace, to change components. So this was actually a very nice work from Apple. So here you have the ADB port for keyboard, mouse, and such. So printer port, there is a modem port here that we don't have because there is a built-in modem already here. So this is for the external modem, right? So we don't have this port. Actually, I don't know if the port is actually here. Maybe if I remove this cap here, the port is actually here. It's just that we don't need it because there is a modem here. I'm going to show you in a moment. This is the SCSI port. This is the mic in or sound in port. This is the sound out port or line out port. And here we have the modem port. So this is like a phone jacket, phone connector here, right? Where you get to basically plug this into your phone line, and you get basically the modem already installed inside. Those covers that you see here, those are for external options. Actually, sorry, internal options that you get to add to this particular model. So for example, here you get a video card, basically, if you have one, of course. So you have video in, video out, you have the TV tuner also here. And what else? Here you have, I think this is a PCI or what is the name, like a Nubus? It's not Nubus, it's something else, like maybe, yeah, I think it might be a Nubus or a PCI slot where you get to add, for example, like a network card or a video card or something like this. And those are for, like, this is a COMS port, if I'm not mistaken, so the Ethernet card actually could come here, or not sure actually. So I have to actually disassemble that, and really not in the mood to do this right now because everything is working, so I'm just rather, you know, let it like this. I have to apologize actually because I mentioned in a previous video like Jason's Macintosh Museum, and I was always like amazed how he actually, you know, like disassembled the whole thing, and he didn't really care. Like, not that he was not careful when doing that, it's just that I would never do that ever. Like I really value those guys here, and I would never disassemble the whole thing just to make a video or some sort. Like if I'm repairing them, then yes, but if they are working like this one is, I'm not going to disassemble it just to show the internals. Like there are other videos on the internet where you can easily find, you know, and look how it looks from the inside. Here you have like two ports or holes where you basically get to adjust the video, basically the height of the video. Actually, is to center the video basically, right? So move the video up or down, and to the right and to the left. So it's very convenient as well because you don't have to open the whole thing up just to adjust the video settings so that the video looks great in the monitor. So yeah, my LED light here went down because I forgot to plug it in, so the battery ran out. It doesn't really matter because actually the lighting here is maybe even better now. Well, who cares? So that's it, guys. That's all I have for this particular video here. Again, this is a very nice model, very nice specimen. It's in a great shape. Very proud of it, and very happy to have it. So talk to you next time. Bye.